Today I want to draw some characters I haven't done, just like a chill sketching drawing session, and I kind of want to explore some like fashion looks and like fashion aspects and like character design aspects that I've been having in my head for quite some time. So I'm just gonna do like a simple sketching session today on the iPad. I think I want to do it on the iPad because I want to explore more with halftones. Like I explored some more today earlier in the day with it, but I want to explore just like with the black, white, and like halftones, like comic book kind of style, because I've been seeing some works like that and I feel like it looks so effective, and I really want to test it out and explore it in my style. And yes, I'm excited. Gonna be a chill one today, so let's see how it goes. Hello, welcome to my second ever voiceover. Let's hope it's maybe less awkward this time. Anyway, so today here I was really excited this day to design characters because I really haven't had like a chill character designing session, just like testing out some different fashion choices and different kind of styles and like simplifications of like the character and how I draw the body and whatnot. So I was really excited to do this one, and for this one I remember I was having like I've been paying attention a lot to like different fashion choices and things people make on the street, and just like the way people layer clothes and the way I like how certain clothes or like accessories fit on the body and like how they style it and layer it themselves. And sometimes like some of the art I even like hang up in my room or have prints of, like sometimes it's not always the most detailed thing. Sometimes it's even more effective when it's very simplified and like the way that it's very effective, just the way that they decided to stylize the character. And I've been so like just paying attention to the things I'm drawn to in art, and obviously like doing my own style of like the things I'm drawn to. And for this piece I really wanted to play around just like these characters that like quite simple in like the features and everything, but enough to give like the essence of the character. And like I actually ended up really liking them, so I might end up kind of making them like OCs, like original characters, and like further developing them, because I remember like sometimes it's not often that I'm like pretty happy with a character design or anything I've made for a while. So I was pretty happy that like I like how they turned out, and they also seem like from the same world, obviously, because I'm doing it on the same piece, so it's like somewhat cohesive seeing everything all together. But I feel like these really could be something, these characters could be something, and could make some cool illustrations with these ones in the future. And that's the thing when you make like just like a random character sheet or like just start sketching and whatnot, it could be, you know, just that, like just the piece, and then you never see the characters again. But also like if you really like the characters and you want to develop them further, like totally can make like a whole world or like a whole comic or like a short animation, or even like could be a cool idea, could do like a fashion magazine or like a fashion zine, because recently I went to a zine fair with my friend, and it was really awesome seeing all of the different concepts. And like just some of the concepts, like it doesn't have to be something so grand, it can just be, you know, as big or as small as you want it to be. So definitely I think I will develop these characters in the future. But yeah, here I was just playing around like design, like here I had already fleshed out the basic proportions of the body, and then this is the fun part, like I was just able to kind of play around with like the character stylizations and like choosing the outfit. It's like getting dressed in the morning, but you can literally have endless possibilities of what the outfits could be, and it's like so fun. Like I think in another world or in another life, or even this one, but probably I'm gonna stick to art and animation, but I think I would have really loved to do, you know, fashion design or like be a stylist, because I really love the way clothes fit with each other and on people, and how they can drape on the body. And that's actually one of the reasons I love like character design and playing around with the characters, like in the not so direct way of being a stylist, but just being an artist. And like for animation or anything, part of character design, like so much of it is in the design, is like in the clothes and like the choices that you make for the design of the character, and like how they make sense for the world that they're in. And it's like so fun getting to explore that fashion side like in art, because it's a very, maybe not but like an easy way to like put all your fashion desires and dreams and inventions and fashion creations just like on the screen and make them come to life in that way, even if they don't exist in like the real material world. That's why I think like a lot of character designers or like even prop designers would be really good like fashion stylists, just because so much of the thinking I feel like would be very similar, like how the outfit and the character works in the context of their world, or like the fashion show or the movie or the game, and I feel like character designers would also be very good stylists, like vice versa, because the thinking is kind of about the fashion and also what the fashion says about the character, what it communicates about the character, and how it makes sense for the character, not just like being aimless in like your decision making. I actually saw one of this artist that I love, Irie Pan, who's a really beautiful, successful artist, and she was saying in an interview that like one of the best things to make for a design is just like that the design actually makes sense like in the world or like for the character, not just having things for like the purely just visual value, but like that the design choices actually make sense and come from a place of, I guess, like logic, pure, like more than just superficial. And I feel like that's why world building and like doing character design and prop design all for like one world is like so exciting. And I've only ever really delved deep into that when I did my graduation film, Burning Daylight, that was like my final graduation film for university when I was studying animation, because like being able to create every part of like the world that you're building was like so satisfying, being able to dive deep in that way. And that's why I really need to spend more time like working on my personal projects that I really have the ideas for and the vision that I need to flesh out on paper, because it is like so satisfying and fascinating to me, like diving into a world, creating a world. Like I love finding on YouTube people that are creating like an indie game or creating their own comic graphic novel, and just like the lore that they create for their own world, and like it just wouldn't exist otherwise, but someone had the vision, someone wanted thought that this idea was worthy of creating a world for and characters for and breathing life into it. And that is like so satisfying to me. And people love it. The people love games, people love movies, like fashion magazines, like documentaries, anything, because it is very satisfying to be able to dive into someone else's world when it came from something real in their head, like a vision, that they really had in their head that is like now accessible to everyone else because they chose to like flesh it out and make it real and be able, to be perceived by others. And here is like, I feel like one of the most satisfying parts, especially if you're doing like a black and white and like halftone image, is adding the shadows is like so satisfying. Adding the shading, I feel like it completely brings the piece to life, and that's why I love like the harsh lighting and shadows so much. I feel like it brings so much depth and like life to the piece. It's probably one of like the most satisfying parts about making an artwork, or especially like a black and white one, when you're only dealing with like a few tones and colors and just like working with the spectrum of like black and white without having to worry about the factor of like choosing which colors and everything. And that's one of the reasons I love doing character design and basically anything art animation related and like world building related. It makes me like a lot more, or I guess I already was like naturally observing and appreciating like, you know, beauty and things in the world, or even things that you don't like, designs that you don't like, things that you're critical of, like having the critical eye as well. And just the way, but also seeing the beauty and things that I like and that I'm drawn to, and kind of taking like a mental note in my head, and then being able to like add that to your visual library and create like your version of what you want, but keeping like the essence of like what you were drawn to about, you know, a particular something in the world. I like that it makes you more aware of like your surroundings and like just aware of like the things around you and like the choices someone else made and why you like it, why you don't like it, why you're drawn to it or not, like what it could mean about the person or not. And like these are all things that I feel like every character designer, or well, anyone in general, but like if you're doing character design, then you'll be like paying attention, especially like being extra like hyper aware of these like design and like fashion choices that people make out in the world. Normally when I have like something that I want to design the characters, like an idea for the characters, normally I either have like kind of like a loose vision in my head, which is what happened this time, and I didn't brainstorm or anything before, and then it's good like once I do the base of the character, I feel like I can just kind of indulge in like experimenting with the different character designs and things that I want to play around with. And I feel like I definitely need to exercise like that muscle more, like drawing from imagination and being able to put onto the screen or on paper like the vision that I have in my head, especially when it's like quite a loose one. Like I just have like the feeling that I know like the essence, like the vibe that I want for the characters, but sometimes not being able to like do that in the most effective way because I know I haven't practiced that enough. But it's okay, that's why we're working on it and we're doing it. I think when I used to, or even now, like when I make art, I have the feeling like when I make a piece that I always want the piece to like be like the best and like have everything and every feature that I possibly, and like every element that I possibly could have in it that I want to show. But I'm kind of learning now that like not every piece is so precious, and sometimes it's just like an exploration and just kind of scratching the curiosity of your mind for that specific thing. And that like this piece is just this piece. It doesn't have to contain and show everything that you're capable and everything that you want to achieve and show. It can just be the piece and just like let it be that. And I feel like that also is better to make, like if you're a character artist, character design, or like a concept artist, a world builder, like you know that like a world or a character has like a specific look and a thing that an environment and atmosphere that you are building. So of course they don't all have to have every single element and show every single thing. Like sometimes you can appreciate it for what it is and not feel the need to compensate for what you feel like it may be lacking, when it's just like the feeling that's in your head. But in reality you can actually just appreciate like the piece for what it is and not have so much pressure. And I feel like I need to embody this mentality more so I can have less pressure to start things and less pressure like for the piece, when normally that has not been working for me because I just have not been creating at all as much as I want. And so I was like was like quite like not much output at all as a result, which is like very unproductive and counterintuitive to wanting to create and wanting to get your ideas out there. And I feel like that's very real for a lot of people in like the mindset. But that's why I'm trying to just make more and not be so emotionally like feel like every piece needs to be the best of the best. It needs to show absolutely everything, just like appreciate it for what it is and what I want it to be. Hello, I forgot to film the outro the other day because it was like midnight by the time that I finished the artwork, and then I was so tired. I think I crashed after that. But thank you if you watched this one. I really enjoyed the process and I'm pretty satisfied with the characters that I designed for today. Well, for the other day. But yeah, thank you for watching along and I hope you enjoyed. Take care.